Look closely and you may just be able to see them. The strings coming out of Keir Starmer's hands, arms and shoulders. The strings that keep him bobbing up and down like a mad marionette. Britain's wannabe Prime Minister is a puppet on a string, begging the question, who's the puppeteer? Can you name the string pulling power behind the Labour throne? I can. It is, of course, the dinosaur that refuses to become extinct, Westminster's answer to the indestructible cockroach, impervious to the march of time, the one and, thank God, only Sir Tony Blair. The former Premier's talents have been vastly overrated, his checkered history rewritten by adoring acolytes who were brainwashed into believing he was a colossus among lesser men. In fact, he had but two skills. One was to talk well on television in a way that convinced people he was genuine. The other, he was good at winning elections, which is why Keir has turned to Blair for instructions on how to triumph at the ballot box. So, vote Keir, get Blair, and then beware, because now that he has firmly established himself as the Keir whisperer, old Tony will waste no time in persuading his successor to crack on with all those crackpot alleged social improvements that turned Britain into a significantly worse place to live. Hate crimes, all down to Blair, who loved criminalising those who didn't conform to his repressive way of thinking. Now, thanks to Tony, think the wrong things and you could end up behind bars. Come to Britain, get North Korea. Thanks for that erosion of personal liberty tone. And if you want a terminal case of Euromania and Brexit derangement syndrome, look no further than Brussels fanatic Blair, who was so desperate to take this hapless nation ever further into the dark heart of the sclerotic EU, he wanted us to adopt Europe's worst currency, the useless euro. Now, with a sickening inevitability, old Blair wants to force us to eat what he wants us to eat. All your favourite foods and drinks. This guy wants to tax them to the hilt so that you can't afford them. This, he says, will solve the obesity crisis. No, it won't. And in my humble opinion, what people eat and drink is absolutely nothing to do with two-bit politicians. We're adults. Our nutrition is our decision, our own business, not Tony bloody Blair's. So don't forget, folks, vote Keir, get Blair, and then wait, because doubtless it won't be long before we invade Iraq again. So, JJ, I can see you nodding your head furiously throughout. You're a bit of a Blair fanboy.
I'm a big Blair
Any
fan.
particular reason why?
I can tell you why. Because he introduced the national minimum wage. How about that for a start? He took care of the poorest in our society. He gave more rights.
Which is why there are no social problems anymore.
More rights to the gay community than any other Prime Minister has done aside from that.
I'm with that.
Yes, and on top of that, mate, he did so much for the working class, bringing us up, rising us up. He was part of Cool Britannia.
I don't think he did so much for the working class.
Well, you're wrong, he did.
He made so many working class individuals feel that their trades were not good enough. That's why he tried to get everyone to uni, which made absolutely no sense. Yes or no?
No, incorrect.
It doesn't make any sense.
What about, okay, hate crimes? The first crimes, the first laws in this country for more than 3 centuries in which what you say became a crime. The first laws against what you can say. That is a massive erosion of personal liberty.
No, it's not.
Oh,
no,
you want to criminalise people for the
what
things
they say? Yes.
And by extension, for what they think.
Not what they think, of course not. But if what I'm thinking, I haven't got to say what I'm thinking. But if I think, look at this.
Why can't I say what I'm thinking?
Look at this fatty with the glasses sat next to me. Then that's harmful.
What if there's any truth to it?
Well, there is truth to it. Look at the state of him. Of course there's truth to it.
Well, maybe you should get arrested for saying what you
I was
just said.
fatty with glasses.
Yes, there's truth to
I
that.
may be many things, but I'm not fat. I've got glasses.
Tony Blair is right to tax fatty foods because it's the poorest in society.
No.
Yes.
No.
If you say to me, oh, vote Keir, get Tony, get Blair...
I can eat what I like. It's a free country. It's nothing to do with politicians.
You're costing the taxpayer because you're going to cost us more money.
Don't care.
Well,
liberty is more important.
Your health is my
personal liberty is more important.
Wait. Do you not think it's completely out of touch? If you speak to working class individuals, people that are people that are you're fake working class. People breadline who have to go to places like Iceland because those sorts of fruits stay in their freezer longer. Are you going to set up discounted, organic, healthy vegetables that they can afford? No, you're not.
Listen, here's the thing. Vegetables are already cheap. There's this.
No, they're not. They expire quickly. They expire quickly.
But there's this information that vegetables cost lots of money. They don't. Vegetables are cheap. I'm not saying.
It's about how
I'm not
long
saying.
they
I'm not
last.
saying that we should ban frozen food. I'm saying the tax, and as Blair is saying, the tax would be on stuff like crisps, fizzy drinks, the things that kids are going to shops and buying quickly and easily.
Yeah.
That's where the tax should be raised. That's completely different.
No,
to
it
frozen
shouldn't.
foods.
No, it
yes,
shouldn't.
It should.
It's a question
We've got
of freedom
more
of choice.
fat-obese kids in
No,
this
no,
country
no.
than
You
we've ever
cannot
had.
have this
We've got to
North
stop it.
Korean-style authoritarian ruling of the people.
It's
You're
called
not allowed to
caring.
eat this. You
It's
can't do
called
this.
caring for
You
your
can't do
citizens.
this.
So
This guy is the opposite of a proponent of freedom.
No, it's not. This guy fights
I
for
do
freedom.
think something does need to be done, though, because
About all the fat in the country.
I don't. No. We're not having that discussion.
We've got
We're
obesity
not. No.
crisis. No, we do. We've got
I've
obesity
issued my
crisis.
statement about eating.
One thing I will say that's positive about Tony Blair when he banned smoking indoors, and
Yes.
it made 300,000 people actually want to quit smoking. That has to be a good thing.
Yeah, it also closed down more
I
pubs.
don't agree.
Should we still be smoking?
I don't think politicians got any right to bring in laws that change our
When it
behaviour.
affects the NHS,
It's disgusting.
it affects the NHS.
Obesity is the biggest cost.
If you want to
the NHS.
smoke, you're allowed to.
Well, yeah, you're allowed to smoke, but you shouldn't be encouraged to do it. That's not making it easy
Well,
for people.
why didn't Blair, if he's so great, have the guts to make them illegal? I'll tell you why. Because he wants the 12 billion quid a year
Of
you
tax.
get from
So he's
taxes
smart.
from cigarettes.
Yeah,
So it's
so
a balance.
smart.
So it's a
A
balance.
hypocrite.
It's a balance.
It's complete
Hypocrite.
balance. Complete balance.
Evil hypocrite.
Tony Blair is the greatest prime minister this country's ever had. We
He's
should be
rubbish.
thanking him for coming
Not the
back.
greatest.
We should be. Yeah, he was. We should be thanking him for coming back and
tell
saving
the families
country.
of thousands that died in the Iraq war that.
Oh yeah, listen. Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
point.
that's fine.
No, but listen.
Loads of deaths.
There-
Whoa,
there is
Tony
not-
Blair.
there is- and what about Churchill, voted the #1 prime minister in history? Thousands,
It's not what's
millions
about.
died.
We're talking about Tony Blair.
If only
American
Churchill hadn't
flag.
invaded Iraq, we'd all be all right, wouldn't we?
Churchill
There's
murdered,
no equivalent.
Churchill murdered the Indians.
Churchill defended
Churchill
this
murdered the
country.
Indians. Churchill murdered them. That's what he did. He
Yes,
starved them.
he
starved them to death.
he
He
defended
starved
So
them to
two
death.
wrongs make a right.
No, what I'm saying is, I cannot agree with every single action that any,
But that was a
any
huge-
politician
that
has done.
was a huge-
Yes. Okay, listen, that's a stain on his
Violation
record.
of human
It's a stain
rights.
on his record. But everything else that Tony Blair did, I'm completely in favour of. I can't agree with every single thing any politician does. But on the whole, Tony Blair was good for people in this country, and we should be glad that he's coming back and he's going to
What do you think?
Starmer.
What do you think should be done about the obesity crisis?
He
Nothing.
did nothing. He wants someone to die of obesity. That's what he
No,
wants. He don't
I
care.
think there are more important issues than things like the
Like
obesity
what?
crisis.
Like
You cannot
what?
live in a free Western country where politicians are dictating what you eat, drink, and for that matter, smoke.
If you wanna go-
it is
They're
none
not
of their business.
dictating, you
We
just
are
have to be able to
adults.
afford it.
We make our own decisions about nutrition.
And then when you go to
if
the
I want to
NHS
eat turkey Twizzlers and smoke 100 cigarettes a day and get drunk every day, I'm allowed to do that.
And I should be allowed to say, you can't
Tony
do that.
Not if
Blair,
it's a strain on
Tony
our
Blair
NHS.
could damn well do one and get his prying fingers out of everybody's life.
No.
He was a disgrace, an
Tony
absolute
Blair,
mess of
the
a prime
greatest
minister.
politician this country,
Oh,
nay,
shut
the
up.
world has ever seen.
That's enough
he was
of that.
The greatest.
That is
he
just
was the
such
greatest.
garbage.
He was the greatest.
Such garbage.
I wish he was here now. I'd kiss his hand.
Yeah,
Oh my
well,
God.
anyway, I've had enough of your rubbish.
both of you.
Thank you, Lin Mei, for at least injecting some common sense into our careering discussion.
I tried.
It is time now for a bad ad.
The ambassador's receptions are noted in society for their host's exquisite taste that captivates his guests.
好吃极了。
Ferrero Rocher, a taste sensation, rich, luxurious, unique.
Eccellente.
Monsieur, with Ferrero Rocher, you're really spoiling us.
Ferrero Rocher, a sign of good taste.
Imagine being at that reception, you know. Just people come around and go, is a Ferrero Rocher? Ferrero... Any chance of a damn drink? Chocolates at something like that?
They made us believe when we were kids that Ferrero Rocher were this expensive gilded chocolate. Only
they are
the
nice, though.
greatest could
They are
afford
really
them.
nice.
But they're as cheap as chips. Anyone can get them these days.
They're nice.
they're rubbish.
I like that ad.
But yeah, I mean, what a joke, though. By the way, that's advert's not going to do any good for the obesity crisis.
It's not going to do it.
Tony Blair will be banning that.
You know what I
quickly.
just found, Kevin? The last time you and I spoke about Tony Blair, you said Blair's overrated, and the Daily Express wrote an article saying how we'd descended into an explosive argument.
We
you and
did,
I.
didn't we?
Yeah.
Now, yeah, if I remember rightly, that's when you gave Vladimir Putin your Man of the Week award because he loves his
He loves his country, he loves his people.
Oh, yeah,
He's
you're
a strong
still
man.
defending him.
He's a strong man who likes his people. I wish we had that kind of leadership over here.
If we did, yeah.
Yeah, you see, she agrees with me.
No, you
she
don't
agrees.
want Putin's type of leadership over here. You really don't.
Decisive.
Well, I don't
I'm
want
going to let
Biden
that one
either.
slip because even by your own standards, that was moronic. We're going to talk about mean tweets now. Kevin O'Sullivan is a lunatic and a massive troll. He makes a real arse of himself on TalkTV on a regular basis. He doesn't understand what a disaster Brexit has been, but he will soon. Trust me, I will have the last laugh.
It's a bit personal.
The trouble is, mate, you were designed for obscurity, and that is where you languish. Nobody gives what you think. I'm right, you're wrong, and you don't, and you don't matter. Let's go to a real break now. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back. I'm still with political commentator Lin Mei, who's been an absolute delight, and still lumbered with JJ Anisiobi, who's been anything but a delight. But here he is, every week. I can never get rid of him. But time for my second monologue. We all endured the traumatic trial of Angel of Death Lucy Letby. Traumatic for her victims, traumatic for the nation, as we realised that something satanic had been happening at an NHS hospital where innocent babies were horrifically murdered, and, whisper it carefully, traumatic for Letby herself. Now stand by for the sequel. The nurse from hell seems prepared to go through it all again after being found guilty of killing 7 poor little tots and attempting to slaughter 6 more. The NHS's in-house hospital monster was sentenced to 14 concurrent full life terms behind bars with no possible release for the rest of her miserable days. Now she's appealing. Good luck with that, Lucy. But although one suspects that she's not really expecting exoneration, release and freedom, she will be hoping to quash those full life sentences in order to at least look forward to her release in the decades to come. But if a nurse who injected babies with lethal air bubbles and insulin, who sent these tiny children to their tragically early graves, does not warrant a full life sentence, who the hell does? Meanwhile, appeal or no appeal, brace yourselves for a reopening of the case against the 33-year-old nefarious nurse whose unimaginable crimes stunned the nation. Because one expert who testified at Letby's trial says the crimes she was convicted of were just the tip of the iceberg. Dr. Dewey Evans is convinced that the most evil nurse in medical history, the worst female serial killer ever, succeeded in murdering 3 more kids at the Countess of Chester Hospital and tried to add a staggering 15 others to her death list. All of which means that the devil's own medic may have to be tried all over again. For the alleged victims and their loved ones, this, I'm afraid, has to happen. They deserve justice, and the appalled people of this mortified country demand that Letby is prosecuted for every single one of her heinous crimes. Sadly, the Lucy Letby show is far from over. There is much more to come. I mean, it's depressing, isn't it, JJ? But, I mean, as I said then, I do believe in her rights. I'm afraid all defendants have the right to appeal. The thing that is uncomfortable about this is if you've got full life sentences, 14 of them, you're never going to get out. So you've got nothing else to do except stage these legal attempts.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I don't want to admit it, but yeah, that our country has a legal system in place, a justice system she has to, if she wants to appeal, we have to allow her to. But I'm kind of glad, in a way, that she appeals because it's going to get her hopes up. And then when they say, you've lost the appeal...
More torture.
Yeah, more torture. She's crushed again. And then she's like, now what do I do? Try again. Let's build hopes one more time. And let's crush her again. That's it.
I mean, Lynn, her attempt to appeal may be denied. It may not be. But I think what she's after here is, I don't think, as I said in my monologue, I don't think she's really expecting people to go, oh, we got the wrong verdict, you're innocent, off you go, get back to the hospital. I don't think she's expecting that in a month of Sundays. But I do think what she's angling for is a revocation of these full life sentences. In other words, she will be given, or she's hoping to be given, at least light at the end of the tunnel. The last few years of her life she'll be let out, and I don't think that should be a prospect that she's entitled to be honest with you.
I don't know. I think that she, somewhere in her ridiculous mind, believes she's innocent in this weird, twisted way. Even the way that her friends was like, she wouldn't hurt to fly, you know, she's such a lovely person, we can't believe it. The mother screaming, I wish it was me, take me. It's all like pantomime. And to be honest, when you do you know, request for an appeal, there has to be reasonable grounds. So I'm interested, as a taxpayer, to see what these reasonable grounds are, such as new evidence. Have we really got new evidence all of a sudden? There has to be evidence of poor representation. Did she have poor representation? There has to be issue of the disclosure. So there's so many different things as to allowing that appeal to even take place.
Yeah, I think, JJ, as I say, I think what she's trying to do is get rid of this full life sentence. Now, if she's trying to overturn the verdicts, I mean, good luck with that.
Yeah.
And if the verdicts remain, if she is still convicted of killing 7 babies, and as Dr. Dewey Davis says, maybe 3 more, and maybe trying to kill 15 more than that, she ain't going to get out of those full life sentences.
She ain't. I hope the law has changed by the time, if she gets the appeal and she has to go back to court again. Hope the law has changed, because remember, she wouldn't go up to the dock. She wouldn't go up for the.
You want to see her
Yeah,
dragged,
I want to see
kicking
her.
and screaming.
That's it. Grab her by her
same.
ankles and pull her out. She bangs her off every step on the way up there.
Yeah.
Even better. Make her stand in there and hear what the judge has to say.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I wonder with her appeal whether or not she will deign to appear in the dock this time.
bet she
Hey,
will.
Lucy, how about turning up, eh?
Yeah.
Just for a change.
Yeah.
I mean, very cowardly what she did, and that
Yeah.
is one thing that may
Yeah.
emerge from this trial. I don't care about all this bleeding heart nonsense, all these judges and barristers. Oh, it would be a very unseemly thing to see. I don't care.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I'll be honest with you, I quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, her being forced into the dock,
Yeah.
kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
Proving that's the moment of abject humiliation. So get her into the dock. But I'm afraid much more of Lucy Letby still to come. In a way, that's a good thing, because we do need to look into what the hell went on at an NHS hospital where a nurse was roaming free. But it's interesting what you say, Lynn, that's the thing about her. She sees herself as an innocent victim.
She does. I
A
genuinely
lot of her
believe that.
friends, she's a very innocuous, insipid-looking person. And that's the narrative that revolves around her. Oh, it couldn't be her. Well, I think it could, and I think it was. Time now, though, for a bad ad.
コンソメパンチポンチじゃないよコンソメパンチうまさが効いてるコンソメパンチコンソメパンチコンソメパンチパンチで元気コンソメパンチ
What the hell was that all about? I couldn't understand a single word.
Advertising.
I tell you what, I can't stand it's foreign languages. I can't understand them.
Well, listen, don't worry about XL bullies. That dog is dangerous.
Yeah.
That's the real dangerous dog.
Walking like this.
And then all that stuff like that.
Do you think it was a real dog, or do you think it was a man in a dog suit?
It's a bear in a dog
We
suit.
don't know.
And also, the adverts so often, I mean, I'm assuming that's Japanese.
Yeah.
I mean, they spill into sort of really weird territory,
Random.
don't they? That was a weird advert.
I don't know what they're
With kids
advertising
as
or what the
well.
point was. The kid's sad, the dog makes it happy, and then the kid's in love with the girl at the end.
Yeah. Well, but also I think all kids will be repelled by that advert and won't be eating Calbee potato chips. Anyway, JJ, since you've been away, we've got a new feature in because this is a wide-ranging programme. It's time for sport.
Oh.
Everton 1, Manchester United 3. Crystal Palace 4, Leeds United 1. Chelsea 4, Sheffield United 1. West Ham 1, Fulham 0. Sunday, West Bromwich 0. Tottenham Hotspur 1. Leicester City 1. Wolverhampton 0. Manchester City 1. Liverpool 1. Arsenal 0. Aston Village 3.
I mean, the BBC, for technical reasons, is looking for a main kind of news presenter. I think there's a vacancy, and he's the guy for the job. I always wanted to do that. You know, in the football results, there's an intonation that they have. So they go, West Ham 0, Fulham 1. Yeah. If it's a draw, it's West Ham 1, Fulham 1. Yeah. So I always wanted to do it all wrong. You know, West Ham 1, Fulham 2. To get it all wrong. Yeah, I'm available to be the news results reader if you want. Well, that about wraps it up. I want to say a big thank you genuinely to JJ Anisiobi. He comes in, I kick him around, he just takes it. That's his role in life, to be kicked around by me. But very big thank you to Lin Mei for coming in and making this show such fun. Kind of different, isn't it? It is different.
Lots of shouting.
It's very different. That's one word for it. You have been watching What Just Happened, and we'll be back same time, same place, right here on TalkTV next week. What just happened?
Will they break the gender norm and they never will conform? Then I'm binary. It's here! Now that's what I call woke.
She's always a person with a cervix to me.
44 smash hits, now with more inclusive lyrics. Man, I feel gender fluid. Iconic tunes updated for the modern listener.
Love is to the left of me, vegans to the right. Here I am, stuck on the M1 with you. I want to know what a woman is. Here in my car, I am killing the earth with my toxic exhaust. It's a selfish way to live.
No trigger warning required.
Oh, the wokey cokey. Whoa, the wokey cokey. Oh, my little Europhile, my Europhile. When you gonna follow me back, Ramona?
Now that's what I call woke. Not streaming now.